Gross mismanagement, sexual assault, and general mistreatment of juveniles, all alleged in a whistleblower lawsuit against Idaho Juvenile Corrections.
That's right, and until now, no one has talked to the juveniles to get their side of the story. Tonight, in an On Your Side exclusive, you're going to hear from the most vulnerable in our community about the violence and abuse they say they endured at juvenile corrections. The whistleblower lawsuit spells it all out. Allegations of sexual misconduct, physical abuse, favoritism, and a system of juvenile corrections that's out of control. Dakota Haley was 16 when she was first exposed to physical violence in juvenile corrections. She says she learned early not to put her hands in her pockets, a lesson delivered by a large member of the staff.
He came up behind me and just picked me up and slammed me on the ground, and I got restrained for not taking my hands out of my pockets.
Dakota is now 20, lives out of state, but talked with us by phone. She says that incident was followed by hours of verbal abuse.
I stood in 6 hours in session being screamed at by multiple staff. So then after that happened, I just got in this really depressed stage, didn't talk to anybody. I started cutting myself. I had plans to hang myself. I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Another former inmate says physical restraints are common.
I've seen restraints that have gone on for hours where juveniles are being held down, and it eventually gets to the point where they need to inject them with Thorazine to make them go to sleep.
Robert is a former juvenile inmate who didn't want to be identified, so we've concealed his face and changed his voice and name. He says long-term lockdowns for inmates are common. What's lockdown like?
Lockdown happens when you act out loud. You're in your room and you get your meals delivered to your room, and
solitary.
Yeah.
So can all these stories really be true? You might be forgiven for thinking they're just the ramblings of delinquents. The problem is they're not the only ones saying that at juvenile corrections there's something seriously wrong. Take, for instance, the criminal court case against former security supervisor Julie McCormick. She faces charges of lewd conduct for allegedly having sex multiple times with a juvenile at the Nampa Corrections Facility. McCormick was fired, and her supervisor, Betty Grimm, has since retired.
We're now aware of 5 incidents of staff members having sex with juveniles in IDJC custody since the year 2000. Those are just the ones that we know about.
Those incidents include an infamous allegation in the whistleblower lawsuit where a female staff member had sex with a male inmate who, after he was released, moved in with her, got a job back here at juvenile corrections, and then proceeded to have an affair with a female inmate. Robert says that story is legend at juvie, and he ran into a similar situation with a different female staff member.
I got an invitation from her to go over to her house and bring all the friends I wanted and have a party, and we did.
Staff is not supposed to have any social contact with former inmates outside of the facility. At the observation and assessment facility, Dakota says the sex games went on between inmates.
Females and as well as the males would flash each other while they're taking showers, and nothing was ever really done about it. And the females would talk about how they would go over to the other boys' side, because the only thing that blocked it was a curtain. And they would go over there and do things with the boys, or the boys would come over to the other side.
Why should people care about this?
In a quite literal sense, these juveniles are our future. They can be our future good citizens, or they can be our future criminal class. We need to decide which one we want.
Juvenile Corrections Director Sharon Herigfeld would not comment on camera, but she sent us this response. The Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections is committed to providing safe and secure facilities for juveniles and staff that deliver the best opportunity for rehabilitation and competency development for juveniles committed to our care. Now, tomorrow night, in part 2 of my series, the unbelievable lesson that inmates say they learn that helps them gain early release.
They can get out early for something they do inside.
And you won't believe what it is.
Okay, real quickly, whistleblower lawsuit. I take it there are numerous people involved in this now?
There are. There's more than 10 involved, and all staff members, and they are still working, I think, on discovery in that case. So it's really in the early stages.
Okay, rolling.